Hello. Hello, everybody. It's that time again. It's that time once again where I tell you that it's once again that time. That time where we do a little bit of story time. Because this isn't the Video Game channel. This is the other channel. This is the channel where I shitpost. This is the channel where I put whatever I feel like. Just, it makes some kind of sense, right? It's the way it's been since the very beginning of this particular channel. My original meme? My original channel, right? Yeah, right? It all started with, like, fucking Gmod bullshit. And then it became, like, well, more like it kind of fizzled out. But it's fine. Hello, talking now hard. Okay, yeah, so, unfortunately, I think Bob is presently dealing with some shit. Not gonna... It's his business whether or not he wants to say what it is. I won't say what it is. Just, out of my own discretion. It's not like somebody died or anything. Like, it's nothing, like, huge and dramatic like that, but it's, like, kind of a big deal. It's, like, something he has to, like, deal with urgency. So he might not be as present in the chat as he normally is. But, we're still gonna go ahead and we're gonna continue with our post-fantasy story time. Let me get rid of the Estelle faces just to make sure that we are on live chat, and we are in fact on live chat. Let's bring the Estelle faces right back. I need to add more. I must have more, dude. I just need to. I need to look through Anya style, and just like harvest some faces from that. I need to just bite the bullet, go on like Amazon.co.jp or something. Just buy fucking the Kindle versions of like the Trails in the Sky comic, and just harvest the Estelle faces from there, right? Because that's where the Estelle faces all come from. It's from that comic, or another comic. I'm not going to continue that. I'm not going to keep saying what I was going to say. There's another comic. There's other stuff in there. There's also Nitori in there because reasons. Point is, I got a meme, okay? Anyway, so, I gotta do my usual preface. We don't really need to do a full recap of the story because we're pretty much up to speed. We're pretty much all caught up to chapter 5. We're not going to read chapter 5, at least not yet. I want to wait until chapter 5 is done, because if chapter 5 goes anything like chapter 4 did, it's probably going to take 4 streams to go through that too. And there will be a lot of side story chapters to catch up on once we do read chapter 5. So there will be a lot to go through when I eventually do decide to go through chapter 5. I'm going to wait till that's done though. I'm going to wait till that's finished before we get to that. So for now, chapter 4 is done. We're just going to read the last side story chapters we have before we kind of call it quits. We're probably going to have some time after stream, so we'll have to figure out something to do after stream. I don't know what we're going to do yet. Could draw, could try and make some music if I really want to fucking humiliate myself. Could do Trails in the Sky second chapter hard mode playthrough. I could continue that. I started one like on my own just to follow along with Bob streams on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Thursdays at 9 a.m. and Fridays at 9 a.m. He's currently streaming Trails in the Sky second chapter. So, Touhou, a post-fantasy story, is a Touhou fanfiction that takes place in the far future. It's an interactive fanfiction, and it takes place in the far future where yokai and fantasy and things thereof have kind of started to wane. They're sort of on a decline to the point where they almost kind of don't exist, but they're still kind of hanging on. One day, in this point in time, our protagonist, Hakure Miko, which sounds kind of silly because it sounds like I'm just saying, in Eastern name order, it sounds like I'm just saying what she is and not her name. But Hakure Miko, she sees like this little family heirloom while she's doing her duties around the shrine, maintaining the shrine grounds and like cleaning and everything. She notices that like this sort of family heirloom that her family's had for a long time is sort of giving off this faint glow, and she hears a voice speaking to her from this heirloom. When she interacts with it, she realizes she's been granted the ability to borrow the powers of these things called fragments. Fragments being what we most recently learned in Chapter 4 and 3. A fragment or a piece of the souls of influential people or important people from the land of fantasy, that would be Kinsokyo, that Miko can call upon, provided she's actually connected with a particular fragment. Thus far, we've only unlocked a few fragments. We've unlocked a fragment of something called the Yokai of Dusk. We've unlocked a fragment of the Dreaming Ghost, and we've unlocked a fragment of the counter-attacking Amanajaku. And I believe those should be the only fragments we've gotten so far, unless I'm missing something, but I'm pretty sure those are the only ones. As of Chapter 4. As of the end of Chapter 4, I think those are the only ones we've unlocked. Along the way, Miko has met quite a few characters, mostly creatures of fantasy. As we've gone through the story, she's met an energetic yet forgetful fairy named Teki, who needs to keep a notebook, because that's basically her hard drive space for her brain, because she's very forgetful. She seems to have long-term memory that lasts about a day, maybe a few days, but a lot of details seem to get lost. She has to write everything down in her notebook. How much that she retains based solely on the fact that she double-checks her notebook when she wakes up in the morning, we're not made completely aware. There's a side story chapter, or there's a part of one chapter that sort of alludes to that, but it's not really clear. She seems to have long-term memory that lasts at least a day. Or at least that's how it appears. We also met a social recluse, a ghost girl named Tomo, who scared Miko at first because she was a ghost, but then she got to know her. They watched Fate Unlimited Blade Works together, and then they were best friends after that, I guess. The next day, Miko goes back to the shrine, because she stayed over at Tomo's place when she met her. She goes back to the shrine, and Teki tells her that there's a child at the shrine. We meet a yokai child that we named Kiseki Igai. We named her because it turned out she didn't have a name, and the only clothes she was really wearing was some rags she found in the landfill she kind of woke up in. Details that are shown in a side story chapter. We had to save her life because she was kind of on the cusp of fading away, basically dying for a yokai. And we met another character who helped us do this, named Zenshi no Aho, a dragon girl. The next day, we decided to go with Teki on a shopping trip with Igai to get her some clothes, some proper clothes, because really all she had when she came to the shrine was rags. So once that was done, we returned to the shrine. The night before, when Miko was trying to save Igai's life, she had passed out after successfully doing so, because she had to make a spiritual sacrifice. So Aho decided to stand guard. Tomo came to help because we had sent Teki out to go get Tomo for help. They ended up having a fight. Miko had to break it up, so they were still at each other's throats the next day. So Miko, trying to mediate between the two, decides you two are both to blame for that fight. They both get upset with her. They both go their separate ways. Miko has to try and make things right with both of them. So she goes to both of them. She doesn't apologize, and then everything's okay. Later that night, she has a duel with Tomo, who she seemingly wins against, but Tomo falls on her, so Tomo technically wins. It doesn't seem that bad, but later on, we're clued into the fact that, the damage Tomo had done didn't look all that bad at the time, but spiritually speaking, she did a hell of a lot of damage, and she's probably on the level of, extra stage boss. The next day, Miko wakes up, barely able to move because she encountered Kyohi, the voice that she heard when she saw the Yin Yang Orb, the family heirloom that she noticed was glowing at the beginning of the story. She met this Satori, who messed with her brain in a way that made it really difficult for her to really think straight and move properly the next morning. So Aho is volunteered to help Miko kind of physically recuperate to the point where she can move on her own. It is on this day that Miko realizes she has shrine maiden duties to do. So she has to go around the city of Zen, a city that doesn't believe in religion or spirituality of any degree, but she's going to do these duties. She's going to do her blessings everywhere she has to go. Aho comes with, on the basis that, if anything goes wrong, or if anything goes south, she'll be there to help Miko. So she does that. Go to the shopping district. Miko gets shopping square, market square. Miko gets drunk, doing her blessings. We go to the central part of Zen. Miko gets stoned, and then we finally end up in this poison zone. We sneak in there, and we meet an old friend, or an old not friend, of Miko's named Medi. Medi is a girl who technically shouldn't be alive because she was born dead. She was stillborn, but her parents were somehow able to save her. They were somehow able to revive her, and they built her an artificial body because they are very much in this world of truth, this world of empiricism and fact and science, that all the city of Zen is sort of like shackled to isn't the right word, but beholden to. They're pretty. We also learn that they're pretty big deals in this world, kinda. So the level of discrimination that they face is not quite the same as Miko's. It's much lesser. But because Medi is one such child who was born dead and later came alive, this is something that they have to keep secret because it's something that's not normally possible. So the fear for the Melancholy family is generally that if anybody were to find out about Medi or her nature, she'd be taken, she'd be cut up, she'd be studied, and that would be it. So it's kept a secret. Miko says that the reason she even does the blessings every week to begin with is mostly just so she can go and bless Medi, just to make sure she stays okay. Go back to the shrine. Miko freaks out because she sees Igai eating ice cream because Igai is now addicted to sugar. And she gets mad at Teki for enabling her. She's unable to really deal with how she reacted. She's unable to really deal with how things have gone, or at least that's sort of the way it seems. To the degree that she starts to sort of like mentally shut down a bit. Kyohi comes in, tries to play therapist, fails, and Miko kind of passes out. One of the side stories, the first one we're going to read, will give us a little bit of I think a little bit of insight as to what happened there. I think the first one we're going to read is going to be something that takes place during that section. But whatever Kyohi does, whatever Kyohi did, messed up Miko real bad. She starts freaking out. So rather than seeming like Miko, she seems kind of like a beast, just kind of like a beast, like a wild animal, kind of lashing out at everything around her, while the yokai of Dusk Fragment goes crazy as she does so. Tomo is called by Aho and Teki because Tomo's ability is to hear whenever people are talking about her. So all they have to do is kind of like shout out her name, and then she can hear their whole conversation. She pops in, she tries to help. It's really rough, but they manage to subdue Miko, knock her out, put her to bed. So now she's kind of passed out in her bed. Aho and Tomo aren't really sure what to do, but Aho decides, because Tomo has two friends, Aho doesn't trust them, but she does know of one friend that Miko has, and she does know that Miko is holding a secret for her, referring to Medi. Or at least we presume she's referring to Medi. He's the only friend she knows of that Miko has. Meanwhile, Miko returns to the sea. The sea being this sort of spiritual space where Miko can see the different fragments and try and form connections with them to unlock them. Or she can presumably she can also strengthen her connections with the one she currently has to maybe reinforce them or empower them as well. While she is in the sea this time, where the previous night she had met Kyohi face to face, on this night she meets another being in the sea. A being named Tenryu, the Celestial Dragon. Big deal. So she learns that Tenryu is the reason, big part of the reason why the sea even exists. Also part of the reason why why the pendulum that swings between truth and fantasy hasn't really yet decided to swing back to fantasy. It's sort of like somebody's hand is holding it on the truth side. We kind of learn what the details behind that are. That Celestial Dragon Tenryu was injured in a fight with Akala, the Lord of the Night. Symbolized by the North Star. This is when it starts to get into like Touhou deep lore. That's the point where... that's one of the points where it starts to become kind of harder to really understand what's going on without like Touhou knowledge. Although I think this story kind of breached to that point at an earlier point. But it's really only like some basic shit before that the story relies on for Touhou knowledge, like just basic things like yokai and gods and the like. They come from the wellspring of human thought and belief, being like one element of like the metaphysics of Touhou that you would need to know to kind of understand what's going on in the story. When you start getting into like the Big Dipper and North Star shit, that's when you start getting into like the deep lore of Touhou, and somebody who hasn't, like, even somebody who's only played the Touhou games is probably not going to know that shit, right? But anyway, a couple things we gotta stress. Generally, Touhou Post Fantasy is a interactive Touhou fanfic. It's an interactive fanfic, which means that every so often, whenever Baba posts a new part, whenever he posts a new bit, sometimes, from time to time, there will be a choice at the end. The reader is meant to pick the choice that they want, make their vote, and when Bob decides, okay, time to count the votes, time to cut it off, he'll tally the vote. Whichever option or options get the most votes, that's the direction the story kind of goes in. Okay, so big disclaimer. I tend to be absolutely autistic when it comes to like things like grammar and spelling. I'm like an autistic grammar Nazi, to the point where like if something is written badly enough, it actually messes with my ability to understand what's being said. Like it actually screws with my ability to understand what message the person is trying to convey if they don't like write it out properly, or at least like close enough to properly. It actually fucks with my ability to understand it, and it makes me want to not even like try. So if I see enough errors, if I see enough bad shit, generally I'll tend to like just drop whatever I'm reading, especially like when it's long. That doesn't happen too bad too often. It doesn't happen too badly too often. I've seen a couple of my pet peeves here and there, but for the most part, I think that Touhou Post Fantasy Story, written by Bob in chat, by the way, in case I didn't mention that. For the most part, I think the actual narrative contents, as well as like the character interactions and the like, dialogue and what have you, I think that's strong enough. I think that stuff. There's something to be said about the world building. There's something there. I could do with more, but that's something for the future. We'll probably see more of that in the future, maybe. But the actual narrative contents, the way the story's gone, the actual character interactions, dialogue, things like that, I think those things stand strongly enough that I can kind of forgive some of the grammar errors and spelling errors that are present in the story. Normally not something I'm capable of doing if it happens enough. So personally, I think it's kind of like speaks to like the actual quality of the narrative, even if the technical quality is not like there. Little disclaimer, because whenever I see it, I point it out and I take the piss out of it a little bit. So like, just so you know, I'm not shitting on the story, because I actually really like the story. Anyway, I think that does it for our little recap and our little disclaimers. I should also note, since we're doing the last of the side story chapters that we haven't read yet, since we're reading those, an important thing to note about the side story chapters, little side story bits, those parts aren't interactive. They're mostly just kind of like little bonus one-offs. So those usually, those might be like multi-parters, very seldomly, very occasionally, but for the most part, they're kind of like one-offs that are sort of peppered through actual like chapter updates. They're not interactive, so I won't have to explain like when a choice might have occurred or what have you. Not that I did that much during the main chapters either, but they did during the main chapters. I say this because the way it's presented in the Google Docs, which is what we're reading from, the choices and whatnot have been like omitted. Presumably so that it's not a fucking chore to read. But anyway. With all that said, let's get right into it. Let me open up my notepad so I can get my text files here, my list of things we still need to read. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 side stories left, and they're not. A couple of them might be long. Most of them shouldn't be that long. So anyway, the first one we're going to read is going to be this one called Perspective. Because if I'm not mistaken, that takes place during the last part of Chapter 4 that we ended up reading last week. So we're going to start with that one. Let me get that up. First and foremost. Get here. Go here. We will simply open up. I gotta find it now. Oh no. Okay, that makes it slightly easier. Here we go. Get this window capture open. Stretch everything just right so that it will work. And I think we should be good. Let's zoom in so it's legible on stream. There we go. Okay, so we should be golden, I believe. Okay. This will be Perspective. For Kyohi, the entire incident was turning out to be a massive disappointment. Small incident. If Miko had been left to her own devices to wallow in the despair of her mind or permitted to fully play out her temper tantrum, Kyohi did think the entire event could have escalated quite decently. What a mess, though. Seriously. Satori mutters to herself, in this shining place existing both in the maiden's thoughts and the physical world. After giving her a gift, she immediately loses control because she's such a human. The theatrics of sighing and huffing and moving her body were completely unnecessarily, and perhaps unwarranted as well. But Kyohi, nevertheless, performed the superfluous actions that no one could see. Yeah, really a human thing to go in panic after getting lost in their mind suddenly. No one other than the many fragments that had gathered around to begin harassing the medium between the minds. But more particularly, the current spokesperson for the fragment of the lost Amanajaku. Buzzing uncomfortably close to Kyohi's face, the Amanajaku's fragment slowly takes a more physical form, as Kyohi attempts to swipe and push away the annoyance in front of her. Yes, it's a very human thing. Kyohi's sentence corresponds with the moment when she finally manages to hit the floating ball of glowing light with a backhanded slap. Panicking about worthless events out of their control is an obvious fault their entire race is shown to have. I'm going to turn the music down a tiny bit. It's a little loud. The fragment of the Imanajaku, now feet away from the Satori, gains enough form to become a distinctive shape. Though featureless, the outline of horns and messy hair can be made out well enough of the girl formed from the incandescent yellow light. Ain't got a clue what world you'd been living in, monkey. But I'm here to tell you, it certainly ain't just a human thing to panic when Satori do funky stuff with the brain. to the brain, even. The Amanajaku's tone, as if she speaks from experience. And there's little ounce curiosity. Kyohi feels to investigate further into that. She lets it go. She's lived more than enough to know what it means to make humans tick. She's lived more than enough to know what makes humans tick, even. I misread that one. She's just a little rusty with the specifics since it's been so long since she's directly interacted with one. So what? Kyohi opens one of her eyes to glare through the Amanajaku. Even if you were to be correct, would you honestly expect such people to react by throwing a dangerous tantrum like she did? Kyohi is good bitch energy. Say so. I'll piss off with that. And once again, the annoying inchling fragment has joined the side of the Amanajaku. Somehow seeing the two together has quickly become a good way to get Kyohi to start developing a headache. That was not a tantrum, it was a panic attack, you ass! Kyohi didn't dare acknowledge the pest of a fragment, as it started another tirade about the Satori's failings as the guide for this entire venture, and other such idiocy. Instead, she spent the time the fragment wasted on her non-existent breath, creating the updates to the glossary she would have to introduce after she spoke to the maiden later. After all, there was one thing she was grateful for since coming to inhabit the space. It was the speed in which she could perform actions. The sea was certainly the blessing and curse the sage had promised it would be to Kyohi. A place where time could either pass within the blink of an eye, or be extended to last for an eternity. Though doing either had always been of no interest to Kyohi during her tenure as the guardian of the Yingling Orb. Careful watching of the world outside required things to move slowly. She had no wish to turn her already long life in the sea to be even longer. As Kyohi began finishing off the new entries, she briefly, for the shortest of moments, felt that familiar feeling of regret wash over her. It was something she did her best to avoid. It had not taken her long to realize such feelings came upon her when considering the exact nature of the sea, what she had consigned herself to do for far too long just to achieve her dream. Just how long had she given up by taking this role? Just how much had she given up by taking this role? How much could she have done if she would have remained behind? And just how much would she gain from this endeavor by the end? Just how much was she willing to distance herself from the maiden in all this? Fine. The response to the non-sequitur to whatever the Amanajaku had been saying. Startling and strange enough to stop the fragment in the middle of her quite ambitious rant. I already admitted it was something of a mistake of mine to Touhou and Tomo. I have no problem owning up to my own mistakes, unlike many others. Kyohi tastefully ignores the huff that seems to resonate from every fragment present. Let's prepare something special for the maiden this night to better help her handle the most recent event. Sure, it would mean Kyohi would have to stay within the moment of the maiden being pelted by Damaku for quite a time, but that would be fine if the effort succeeded. After all, the entire incident occurred because of the mental weakness the maiden had. Though Kyohi would handily blame the girl's mother for that, the story would nevertheless go on to at least attempting to fix the flaw. Okay, interesting. The flaw in this being that upsetting emotional blockage. Wait, the flaw in this being the upsetting. Fuck, can't read. The flaw in this being that upsetting emotional blockage the maiden had. Even thinking of the damnable thing easily put a frown on Kyohi's face. It stopped her from speaking simple facts to the maiden, and had been annoying enough that it successfully resisted her more moderate attempts at breaking it through force alone. To that end, Kyohi opens up both her eyes to stare at the Amanajaku and the Inchling fragments. I'll be needing both of your aid in this matter. And that's it. Presumably that took place sometime during Chapter 4. She says that she spoke to Touhou and Tomo. So that must have been after she linked to their brains. Probably. The narration also says that it's while Miko is getting pelted by their Danmaku. So it must have been in between when she did that and when Tomo and Aho managed to like subdue her. But anyway, that's one down. So next, we got some memes. I'm gonna try my best to go in order of order in which they were written, but I'm probably going to fail to do so. But anyway, first we're going to read Yokai of Sudden Reappearance, which was written very early on, but the reason I didn't read it was because it's got some spoiler memes in it. Now, these spoiler memes aren't going to be that big of a deal, and the reason why is because this is set up for stuff that's going to happen in Chapter 5. So, much like we did for Chapter 4, we didn't read certain things until we got to a point where it's appropriate to read. We didn't read Sweet Poison until, we were about to start Chapter 4, because that side story is appropriate to read before Chapter 4. It sets up what's going to happen in Chapter 4 when we meet the Melancholy family. So that's why I left a lot of these side story chapters for when we were done, because this is going to set up some stuff that we're going to learn about in Chapter 5. Anyway, in the past, in a different city, blue stones rattle underneath your feet as you run towards one of your safe places. From one corner to the next, you run to and fro, avoiding shadows from the corner of your eye. You can't be seen. You have to avoid them. Left, right, left, and then up. You erase your presence to go to the top of a building you would otherwise have run first into. On the roof of a building that stands tall enough to overlook the activities of all in the city, rest. Wait, what? On the roof of a building that stands tall enough to overlook the activities of all in the city, rest? So just for a moment. I don't understand this one. Hopefully they won't be able to keep up here too quickly. Ugh. Why the hell are these people after you? No, better question is, who the hell are they even? Though you managed to stay off everyone's radar enough behind your erases, but even then, you never hurt anyone with your ability. So what's with the guns, the scary lights, those people? You shiver at the thought of those people. The way their eyes lacked a light to them. They moved as if compelled by strings. Help, you're sure you saw one's neck twisted in a way you're certain no humans could. Well, actually, you don't know if they look human. You don't even know if they look human. Seeing as those ones were such long coats that you couldn't see an inch of their body. On the cold, windy roof, you throw up as you recall one moment where you did see, or at least catch a glimpse, of what was underneath those coats. It was back in your first home. You'd erase a kid's pet cat. It was making for some nice company when, and you like to pet it. Excuse me. You even gone and gotten some food for it while it was staying. And not stealing food, but actually buying it. With stolen money, but that's besides the point. When you got back home, they were already there. And there was one of them hunched over the cat. It wasn't moving. And that thing turned around. You could see its mouth. Its horrible, putrid mouth. Its teeth were sharp and yellowed, curved in a unnatural way to make it seem as if it was always smiling. And its mouth was a flesh and an eye. You never forget the horrible sound that it made. Hew, hew, hew. Fuck! You jump up and wipe away the vomit from your mouth as you run again, erasing yourself over and over again to make hops from roof to roof. You have to get away from them. But possessive, you're tiring yourself out so quickly from using your ability so often. You need to rest for longer. At least for a whole night at some point soon. Fucking go away, Windows. Relax. It's fucking telling me shit that isn't true. Or that shouldn't be true. Fuck off. Okay. Alright. Hopefully my computer's not gonna, like, fucking freak out on me. You have to hurry. You can't just keep going from roof to roof because when morning comes, it'll be over for you. Found out the hard way the last time you finally got away from these freaks. It was back during the second day of being hunted. You managed to get away from the creeps and ended up finding a small building that was obviously planned to be broken down soon. But it was once the morning sun began to peek through the cracks of the walls, the windows, and everywhere in the building you realized your mistake. Hell, looking back on it, you can't help but worry that it might have been a trap these psychos laid. When the light touched your pale skin, it hurt. It hurt like nothing had hurt before. Though there was no damage shown on the outside, it felt like thousands upon thousands of needles were being inserted into you. Even now you can't feel anything in your left arm. The blade's exposed to the longest to the light. Honestly, you thought for a second that it might be some strange effect of being you that you hadn't known about before. Maybe a side effect you'd only learned about regarding erasing. But no, it had nothing to do with your power. You spotted the real cause as you exited the building. There was a woman wearing a similar coat to those things that chased you from your home. You could tell at a glance she wasn't one of them, though, as she wasn't making that horrible sound. Her skin contrasted with the bright white light that she was emitting from her palm. And that light she was projecting wasn't anything like sunlight. No, it was brighter. It was pure. You'd only ever seen that girl during the day, and the creepy things at night. So you figured out that for whatever reason, it can't hunt you at the same time. Maybe the girl's powers don't work at night, but you have no idea why the creep stopped chasing you when the sun arrives. Bang. The door of the roof you just landed on breaks open, and tons of people in long coats that cover most of their bodies rush out. It's like a goddamn clown car. How many of them are there? One of them puts a hand to their head and speaks loudly, probably so his comrades can hear him. Case F34H has been located. We got her surrounded. Bro, please. Chill, Mr. Man. Fucking G-Man, man in black. Ass. Relax. Stop trying so hard. Damn it. They predicted you'd land on this one? No, you think you see more of them on the other roof around. So they went everywhere knowing you'd have to go somewhere? What the heck are these guys' resources? You know, a guy who yelled before was trying to say something to you about peace and become we won't hurt you, but they're working with monsters. You don't want to end up like that poor cat. You got one trick up your sleeve left. It's dangerous. You never tried erasing yourself or anything for that matter for longer than an hour. Last time you did, the person apparently reappeared near the city outskirts. Doing it on yourself could put you anywhere, even right back into these people's hands if you give them enough time. The humans raise their guns at you. See if they've given up on whatever deal they were trying to make with you. Well, you're gonna die. If you're gonna maybe die, you may as well go out in style. Slamming your staff on the ground, you call out your name. Declare to them what you will make truth. You fools will never restrain me. Never punish me for whatever crimes you imagine I've done. I will simply live my life free from all expectations except my own. You build-up of magic suddenly manifests as a large, intricate circle with a design that screams of familiarity in the back of your mind. Is created under... What the fuck? You build-up of magic suddenly manifests as a large, intricate circle with a design that screams of familiarity in the back of your mind. Is created underneath your feet. Yeah, this one needs some work. They open fire, but it's too late. I'm here to know you, and I live for myself. You later learn that when you disappeared that night 5 months ago, bright light appeared in that city. So bright it rang out as a challenge to the heavens. Notice me, for I have noticed you. So we got some interesting memes happening here. And some stuff that we haven't really seen. And also a new character. A character who is connected, by the way, to Touhou. Not just... I mean, obviously this is like an OC2, right? But also, like, this is a more direct connection to Touhou. Besides Miko herself being Reimu's descendant, right? We got some interesting memes happening. Next up, I think, is... Rabbit Company is last. Storytelling is somewhere in the middle. Incident Report, I think, comes before Rabbit Company, but after Storytelling. We're gonna read World of Fantasy last, maybe. Or maybe we'll read World of Fantasy before, or Rabbit Company. Which would mean Storytelling comes next. Okay. We're on storytelling. Alright? It's good meme. This is good memes, okay? In the Hakare Shrine, long after the end of Gensokyo, mother and her daughter play around an ancient tree. Rah! The mother lets out a mighty roar as she chases her daughter. She roars in a mighty roar. I don't even know if I'm doing that voice right. Fuck. That's an old meme. That's an old meme. If you've watched any videos on my channel, on this channel, it's like, you might recognize it. I'm not gonna say the full quote. It doesn't belong here. The mother lets out a mighty roar as she chases her daughter around the tree. Run, run, little one, or I'll gobble you up for dinner tonight. The child with a large smile that's only matched by the one her mother has screams and laughs as she runs as quickly as she can around the tree. It's a bright summer day. Her energy is as high as it can be. The chase goes on for an eternity. Exhausting, hard fought, a brave effort. Well, that's what Miko would have said. Gotcha! The greatest mom that would ever mom sweeps up a bundle of energy and laughter into her hands, spinning her around and round in the air in excitement. You foolish Oni! Miko, however, hasn't given up the fight yet. You've fallen for my trap, and now with a single blow you'll be fallen! Hiya! The blow lands fiercely, an unavoidable hit, created by the most brilliant tactician of the century. Only legends like Watanabe no Suna could match the power behind Miko's strike. It fell the beast, whose burden on top of burdens on top of... Honey? Oh, what? Huh? I rubbed the back of my head and turned away from my wife, having just jostled me out of one of my writing stupors. I guess I was distracted again, huh? Well, now I was distracted in a different way. Caught up looking at Yuki, one of the two joys of my life. Her long white hair and pale blue eyes were completely unnatural, along with the sheer beauty she exuded. It's as if she had stepped out of an old portrait of mythical legends to come and arrive in this land. Compared to boring old me with just my black hair and a relatively light beard and boring brown eyes, I knew we made an odd couple when sitting next to each other like this. I'm always a mix between embarrassed and heart-struck when I hear her giggle. Always reminds me of the days when I first tried to court Yuki. She hums softly as she glides to sit next to me. Overwatching Miko playing in the garden with the tree. You're thinking of our first date again, aren't you? She snuggles up against my shoulder, and I do the same with her. Even if I'm most certainly blushing at the memory and the fact that I'm still so easy for her to read even after all these years. Don't remind me. I bury my face into my chest, because I know that she treats it more or less as her job to make me the joke of the family. Oh, but I must, dearest, and most definitely still needs to be humbled, Yutaka. She hangs each syllable of the dreaded nickname she gave you. Wait, but we've been in first person. Oh no. Wait, were we in first person before? We were in first person here, and now we're in second person. Uh-oh. But for these paragraphs... Okay. She hangs each syllable of the dreaded nickname she gave you, and a groan does indeed escape into the air from you. The most resistance you can give to Yuki is a small... Please, not again. Ah, but how can I not do so? She opens up the dreaded fan, a sure sign of her storyteller side coming to the forefront. Perhaps her one regret in your relationship with Yuki was showing her the magic of stories. But when a man appeared on my porch during a sudden snowstorm years back, carrying with him what must have once been wondrous, but no dead, cherry blossoms. That had to have been hard to get that time of year. What was I, poor maiden, supposed to do? Run on sentence, dear. You blithely say, more on instinct than anything else. I'm not on a breath, so it's fine. She scoffs at the interruption, but resumes with much gusto. Yes, a poor maiden I was. I had manners after all. I had invited what might as well have been a beggar into my shelter, and defenseless as I was. The night that he snuck his way into my heart, that night he snuck his way into my heart, like a snake into an untouched garden. When he went to leave the next morning, the honeyed words of honesty he'd spoken left me with one thought. She pauses, waiting for an answer from the audience consisting of just me. Well, me and the rapidly approaching child. I open up my arms and Miko gladly leaps into them. I embraced her with a hug, enjoying the warmth of love I could feel radiating from her. I just gotta see him again, Miko says in a between giggling fit. I let out a great sigh as Yuki joined her daughter in laughing at the tale. Yes, that's right. I couldn't stand just seeing the man of my dreams only once after all. So using yokai magic, I tracked him down and hunted him like a proper yokai would. Mommy, you'd be a terrible yokai though. Miko sticks her tongue out at Yuki. You can't even catch me. How'd you manage to catch someone as awesome as Daddy? I can see that Cheshire-like grin emerging on Yuki's face. And I am most certainly not comfortable with the innuendo-laden conversation we'd be having once she got to talking. Sure, Miko may not realize right now what's actually being talked about, but in the future? There's no way I'm going to let my daughter be traumatized with these kinds of memories. I think we're starting to see where Miko gets a little bit of her dork from. It comes from the Reimu side of her family. Did fucking Yomu marry into this family as well at some point? Somehow? So I loudly cleared my throat, getting both of their attention. I put on my best award-winning smile, at least that's what Yuki tells me, and speak with my best storyteller voice. Well, Miko, not all yokai need to be good at scaring people. I smile as Miko's mouth goes agape at the most surprising of revelations. Though, I know I've told her stories like this one before. She really does make for the best audience a father could ask for. Really? Yes, really. See that great tree you and Mommy always play around? I point to the great tree that sits at the center of the shrine. It was once home to 3 great fairies that protected and worked alongside your ancestors. I take up the notepad I always keep by my side and quickly draw a rough sketch and try to set the story better. Sure, Yuki and Miko may say I'm at least a decent drawer, but they're family, so it doesn't quite count. My pen moves fast to create the outline of the tree before us now. 3 small winged creatures I add lack any particularly distinguishing physical features. The only way to tell them apart is by the color I had drawn them in. Fairy of Red was able to make the scene unseen. Draw a honeycomb barrier surrounding the red fairy. Lines of light coming from a sun I place are shown to bounce off the hexes. With great skill, she'd hide herself and her friends. The Fairy of Yellow, I point towards the fairy closer to the ground. Drawing characters walking on such short notice is definitely still a big weakness of mine, but can't lie about enjoying it. Partially for the challenge, but mostly see Miko's eyes keeping a solid sight on the figures I draw. So easily caught up in the story I tell that can't help but try my best with each one I tell. What's quite the trickster I hear? Yuki chimes in, her voice ringing in on our quiet enclosure. She'd sneak up on people, so silence with her magic, and pull the greatest of pranks. Yuki's attention is quickly turned to her mother, looking incredulously at the statement. There's no way a yokai would just play pranks, Mom. That's what Medi would do, and Medi's not a yokai. You even told me so. Miko whines, complaining in her own way about the inaccuracies of things that she doesn't quite even understand. I take the chance while she speaks to add some extra detail to the picture, including some effects to try and indicate the noise-canceling ability the fairy had. Details around the blue fairy to help with her strange ability, and start work on the old shrine maiden from way back then. Ah, but it's true, sweetie. I can feel a slight chill pass over me as Yuki waves her fan about. And Medi would make a fine yokai if she wanted to be one, I'm sure of it. Dad! Tell Mom she's just the wrongest, please! I purposely avoid looking at either my wife or my daughter. It's a well-developed survival instinct from years of practice, now developed to a keen edge. The Fairy of Blue could sense anything and everything around her. Nothing could escape her sight. That famous instinct was passed down from a long time back as the ignore the problem strategy that never failed. They play tricks with their friends though, right? That'd be super dumb, Mom! Tell her, Dad! Until it did, of course. Well, I keep my eyes from darting backwards to look at my family as I ponder over the best course of action in such a dangerous situation. Father had always seemed to think compromise was the correct course of action in moments like this, and he'd only been wrong once, or always, so perhaps not the best role model for the situation, but still. Well, it's certainly true that the 3 fairies did cause quite a ruckus among the residents of the Land of Fantasy. I could feel the amusement radiating from behind me, and the childish annoyance coming off of Miko still on my lap. The most impressive act was the gift they left our ancestors during the fall of the Land of Fantasy. Miko, unable to contain her enthusiasm, jumps up on my lap. Wrapping her small arms around my neck as she presses her cheek against mine. Her fake glasses nearly falling off. They left gifts? Ooh, what kind of gifts? Do we still have them? Where are they? What are they? Can I show them the menu and prove they're super duper wrong about magic? I gently pulled Miko off of me, though not without smiling like a loon. Seeing her so excited about my stories makes me glad she can experience this kind of joy right now. See, during those times, it said that each of the 3 fairies gave a long-lasting gift to the Hakure family. A thank you present from each of them for giving them so much fun during the years they lived in the tree here. The next drawing comes much more easily, so I have a good idea what I want already in mind this time. As I draw the 3 fairies, each waving their hand with waves of magic radiating off of them and onto the shrine they are in. The last shrine maiden of that paradise looking up at them from the ground. Fairy of Red casts a spell to hide the shrine from those with ill intent. Fairy of Yellow, silence our actions from the persecution, those who try to stop us. Fairy of Blue, let us know the dangers that were around every corner. Huh? Yuki lets out a half-hearted shriek. No way! You guys had such super protective, amazing protective spells like that? Yes. Yes, we did, honey. Though, since you're here, they've obviously worn off by now. Huh? It's rare that I actually get a good riling up from Yuki. And from the fact that I'm having to raise up my hand to protect my face from her fists means I've certainly done quite well at getting her annoyed this time. And though I do enjoy ruffling her on occasion, an undeniable truth to the story I've told. That at least a generation or so before my own, the shrine and, by extension, the entire Hakure family have been under the protection of that spell the fairies had cast. It was thanks to them that we were allowed to live in peace for so long, ignored by the worst of the outside world and living in peace. I've seen agents and other such shady characters patrolling around the outskirts of our land now. I've gotten to be much braver in the years since I married Yuki. And with Miko growing older and older by the day, I can't help but worry. Even as I keep laughing with Yuki and Miko, I made the butt of yet another joke of theirs. I feel a nagging at the back of my mind. The nagging feeling of power that I can never quite have. An object of worship that I had never really understood. An orb that rests in our home that I meant to protect and eventually use somehow. But I ignore it once more. I ignore it and play with my family and enjoy the life I've made with them because it's the most important thing I've found in my life. Yuki and Miko. As their laughter dies down, I'm finally freed from the flurry of fists Yuki had been throwing out. I find myself saying the next words without meaning to, but still no regret for an instant saying them. I love you two. I always have and I always will. Maybe it's just a personal opinion of mine, but I feel like this last bit, lays on a little thick. I might have tried to end it a little differently, but it's okay. It's fine. It's not bad, right? It's just, if it was me, I think I would have gone with like a slightly different execution to end it there. But I like it. I like this. I like this one. This one's nice. This one's good. I also have a picture for this one. Hang on. Let me pull it up. I got an image for this one. Find it. Let me find it. Oh no. Hang on. Come on. Where is it? Here we go. Okay. Okay. Here's the image I got for this one. There we go. It's a baby Miko and her parents. This side story made me draw that. So another disclaimer, okay? I make fun of the grammar errors. I make fun of the spelling errors. And if there's like a sentence that I don't fucking understand what the fuck is going on there because of the weird wording, I wouldn't be drawing fucking pictures. I wouldn't be drawing drawings for this story if I didn't really like it. Okay? That's true facts for real. That's an illustration to go with this particular side story chapter. All right. That was That was fuck, which one was that? I already forgot. Storytelling. The Hakare is get it on. Huh? Okay, so next I think is incident report. No musical spoilers. Stop it. Okay, next one is incident report. It's like a big build-up. It's a bit, well, Rabbit Company is just world building, but this is build-up to. Actually, no. Maybe we should read World of Fantasy first, because incident report would be like the climax of the build-up, right? All right, so we'll do World of Fantasy first. World of Fantasy says non-canon here. The reason it says that is because it's a little bit of an AU, okay? It's a little bit of an AU. And the reason why is because I drew a different drawing. So you might remember an earlier part wherein you might remember the earlier part where Teki kidnapped Igai at the beginning of chapter 4, and she terrorized the fuck out of her by flying around, and she like almost dropped her. And I have a picture for that somewhere. Where is the picture? I have a picture for that. Here it is. So this is the illustration for that. And sometime after I drew that, I drew a different piece. Sometime after I drew that, I drew this piece. Where it's what if post-fantasy, but instead of Miko being 20, what if she activated the Yin Yang Orb when she was like 10? So it's baby Miko and everybody else. And so Bob saw this and decided he was going to write a side story chapter based on that particular image. So that's what World of Fantasy is. I need to show the image first because I need to preface this whole side story with it, because that image is like the whole reason it exists. Okay. Honestly, kids are wonderful. Cute bundles of joy that I'd be glad to have if I wasn't a ghost. Well, that's what I used to say before I met the Hakare is. What do you two think you're doing? Look at Ikai! Wait up, big sis! I stomp after the two gremlins, doing my best to ignore the hoe of a dragon laughing behind me, and Teki laughing too, but I must be more inclined to think that she just doesn't understand why she shouldn't. It's not even 5 yet. Cookies are only for dessert, so get that one out of your mouth right now, Miko! Mommy! She fucking gulps down the entire cookie in a single bite. Will let me have more, though! The young brat of a shrine maiden yells as she dodges out of the way of my lunge. Holy shit, why did I ever think children were great? Keep it up, Miko! Don't freaking encourage them, Aho! I yell, trying to do my best impression of Miko's mom. And Igai! I grab the young girl by her collar. She's always been the easier to catch of the two, thankfully. When I tell you about doing whatever your sister asks you to do. Kid looks down at the floor. But cookies. Shit. Can't stay mad at her. God's sake, Igai looks like she's about to cry. I sigh and more properly hold the kid, bringing her to a hug. Come on, it's fine. I give quiet reassurance to her as I cradle her. Yeah, she's not that upset right now, but the girl's certainly a powder keg of emotions. Blame that on her nature as being a young yokai. Blame that on her nature as such a young. Okay. Miko, though. Yeah, girl, I can see you peeking from around the corner. Look into my eyes and feel my disappointment. Look at them. No, wait, don't look at the dragon, bitch! Especially don't go run up to her while Why can't freaking chase after you and hug her leg like the dragon is a giant plushie? Aho! She whines. Freaking whines! Granny Tomo's being lame! Ha! You slit brat! Pop. Being the best damn ghost is great. Especially when my ability lets me catch kids. Okay, I'm certain that if Miko's dad heard me think that, I'd be dead twice over. Maybe thrice for the light as hell kick I'd give to Miko's kid shins. Ow! Ow! Jeez, she can be loud when she wants to. Loud enough, too, that even you guys giving the girl a good stare while in my arms. Oh, and occasionally, bless her heart for not being as bad techie, doesn't help escalate the situation? What? Sure, she'll cheer. Wait. Sure, she'll cheer on Miko and you guys' bad behavior, but she'll never be one up. She'll never be the one. Fuck, dude, I can't read. But she'll never be one to help the two do anything dangerous or that I explicitly told them not to do. On the other hand, oh come on, Granny. The audacity of this hoe, wearing a grin like a tiger while saying that. Let them live a little. The boring homework they had to do, don't they deserve a treat? Don't you granny me, you taint of the lake. I growl at Aho. Now I'm the flippin' youngest yokai here. What about Igai, though? Seriously, it's already pushing my limits letting Miko and Igai call me, in essence, old. I ain't no boomer. I could be young. Check your times in blithely. Techie, your notebook looks more ancient than the tree here. And those things have been around since before Miko's family even existed. I wish I had my hands free so I could properly facepalm. Because you don't remember being old doesn't mean you're not. But you're really old, Granny. Igai, I'm holding you in my arms. Dropping you would be easier than breathing. That's why Mommy has you help me and Big Sis. Because you're old and wise. Save your tush this time, kid. Just because I like being called wise. She's a good 5 seconds away from being dropped on her butt. Go on and get with your sis before I change my mind about kicking your butts for the cookies. And I say as I gently put the young yokai back down and she runs off with Miko to play probably another game. So don't go eating more. Just go eat any more treats. Or I'll tell your mom, brats. I yell as they bounce away from my sight. I still hear them talking about me through my ability, but it's usual garbage about me being mean, nicer than expected, wanting to play with me, whatever. It's so weird to think that only a few months ago I was hiding away in dinky houses, trying to spread rumors about myself to stay alive. I was terrified of being found and killed like the others I'd met. I was jumping out at every shadow then, worried about getting attacked or worse. It kind of amazes me that Yuki and her husband took me attacking them so well. And again, me and Yuki both abided by the spell card rules, so there was never any real threat to either of us. Well, that's what Yuki at least thought. She was playing for fun and games, and I was playing for my life. It's just that, compared to her, I looked like a kid fighting a lion. So, Aho claps her hands, the grin never having left her face. Who's cooking tonight? Yuki's last attempt into the kitchen nearly destroyed, so you're talking forbid her from ever trying. Again. I scoff. That's, what, third time this week he said that? Dude's totally whipped. He goes all mush whenever she even slightly smiles. Oh shit. I meant to reach for something, but I smacked my pop filter by accident instead. You were behind by 12 minutes? Dang. You can always watch in, like, double speed. And, like, try and catch up that way. It'll take you, like, 6 minutes to catch up, but, like, if you don't want to miss anything, that's the way to go. Sometimes if I have to step away from your Trails in the Sky streams, like, I'll pause. And then when I come back, if I wasn't gone for, like, super long, I'll just play it in double speed to, like, catch up quick. That's something I started doing, like recently. Okay. Sure, it's sweet and caring that he loves her so much, but dude needs to get an actual spine when talking to his wife. Flip. Isn't it fine if he's whipped, though? If both parties consent and enjoy the experience? Becky asks, far too innocently. Seriously, I've seen some of the stuff in that notebook of hers. How the hell does someone do the deed that much or remain so innocent? Come on, Techie. Oh, hisses. You've been doing so well keeping quiet about that kind of stuff. I smile, see the dragon throw up her hands and get so animated. Still don't like her much even after all these months, but I can't say she doesn't have the kid's best interest in mind. No, I wonder if the two have the same argument as ever about Teki's odd remarks, though I sometimes question her intelligence. Yuki certainly chose well to have me be the caretaker for the Tykes when she and her husband were out and about. I was often at least partially mentioning Miko and you guys' conversations, so let me keep a good eye on what was happening to them. You saw that look on Granny Tomo's face? We shouldn't make Granny Tomo sad though, big sis. Sure, the conversations were often piecemeal, like what I was hearing now, but it was fine. I'd actually gotten a lot better in filling in the gaps since I started to... Wait. I'd actually gotten a lot better and filling in the gaps since I started to help out here. Though, there was an unsung reason that I was here. And I'm not the best at handling the kids, and Touhou or even Teki can do an equally fine job. It was a year or two back. Yuki and her husband got into a serious accident. One that was meant to get them killed along with Miko. Apparently it was an attempt by that weird-ass shadowy organization. The Apocalypses of being meeting... What? Fuck! Apparently it was an attempt by that weird-ass shadowy organization that caught glimpses of being meeting the two. Okay, I just don't... Okay. Yes, sir. I caught glimpses of being meeting the two... I just don't understand what I was trying to say. Thankfully, Aho had leapt out of her watch and bodied her way through to save the two. It wasn't for her. Most of your comment has been eaten? Uh-oh. I give a quick glance over the dragon. Someone I can't help but respect so much more than I can hate. She's the reason for all of us being here right now. We're not being left to stew in misery for God knows how much time. But even she can't help the families. Even she can't help the family safe by herself. Even she can't keep the family safe by herself. Fuck, I can't read. So me and Teki are here after all. Teki provides the other half of the firepower and keep the kids safe from the world. They call and I appear. Never thought I'd be such a helpful devil when it originally came back, but I like it. I like it a lot. Outside of this shrine, I know Yuki and her husband are fighting a war. A war to make a future for their daughters where they can live happily and safe from truth. A war that everyone here, including them, were forced into from birth. But despite that, despite things being so serious and perhaps more dangerous than any time in my life before, I'm happy. I smile gently. This is the Miko and Yukai begin to talk about another game they want to play with me. I let myself laugh as Teki said something stupidly sexual again, and Aho blushes like a virgin girl. I feel a warmth of reassurance far off elsewhere that he is sure I'm not going to fail to keep her kids safe. And maybe, just maybe, I grin because I'm looking forward to that new world of the distance past. Huh? I grin because I'm looking forward to that new world of the distance past. Huh? The world our small alliance will recreate. World of fantasy. Okay, and that's that one. That's that one that came from this drawing. It's kind of like Black Rock Shooter in that way, except there was already more to it than just a drawing. Okay, so next... Okay, next we have Incident Report, and then Rabbit Company, and then we're done. Where is Incident Report? What the fuck? Here it is. Alright. Logging in. Identification confirmed. Welcome Quadrant N34 Director. Now viewing latest mission reports. Command confirmed. Viewing latest mission report from Team MANA Hunter. Would you like to review redacted information? Select no is selected. Redacted information will not be displayed. Port number, codename, Laputa incident, location, redacted. Fucking SCP memes. Leading officer redacted, temporary designation, resolve. Leading comment by officer resolve. Names I include in this document will be the previously designated code names created for my team. To ensure this is properly included this time, I will repeat. Officer by temporary designation resolve leads team MA Hunter. Overlay of events leading up to Buddha incident. Success. Recording starting now. Please speak directly into the microphone, Miss Resolve. It's Resolve speaking. Confirmation via blood and brain sampling has been done on all my team, following our encounter with Fantasy Structure Designation Laputa. We also have undergone MA erasure procedure immediately after the incident was resolved. Eternal note. Resolve's way of speaking indicates her own personal belief the Laputa incident was a grade Hesed level event. Manifestation of the Fantasy Structure Laputa. Early AI analysis of the structure ranks it at HOD level. For the form Laputa manifested as befits the designation of Hesed, Conscious has agreed that the structure displayed more intent influences similar to previous HOD level threats. See, we got so what, I don't understand. Is this just going to be Project Moon memes, or is this like Kabbalah memes, which Project Moon does? Uh-oh. Prior to my team being called upon to engage Laputa, Team PRANA N3 engaged with and first reported the Fantasy Structure. Due to Team PRANA N3 engaging with the structure without prior backup or fulfilling their duty to simply analyze and report the Fantasy Structure, the team was completely wiped out. Eternal note: Team PRANA N3 had reported to their superiors prior to their engagement with Laputa. The team was ordered to engage with Laputa after 13 local observational lenses observed a more valuable degree of success if Team PRANA N3 died to Laputa. Its Resolve Inner team has not been informed of this fact to maximize loyalty from the team. When information about Laputa my team was able to recover prior to the decimation of PRANA N3 is the following. On Redacted, Fantasy Structure Laputa appeared over Redacted in Designation Japan. Once Laputa appeared, never moved, seeming to use MANA to keep itself locked in a certain space-time position. But you like the report and you want to write more Cradle perspective? You're spoiling! What the fuck is Cradle? In a certain space-time position, when Laputa appeared, A MANA zone and MANA zone. I know you're supposed to fucking read it as mana and prana, but I don't want to, because you've made it into an acronym. AMNA zone had encompassed the entirety of Redacted in what PRANA N3's drones had recorded as 13.5 seconds. Laputa's appearance is in line with depictions and records 314 of an ancient European castle suspended by wires in each corner that is connected to no physical objects. Analysis of the structure gave an approximate age to its materials, and therefore, it's as being 2 weeks old. After exactly 13 minutes, 1,429 small, inch-tall, humanoid-like beings began to fly out of Laputa. Postmortem analysis has these beings match previously encountered fantasy entities designated Inchling. The equipment the Inchlings had was standard, with the only exception being a higher-tiered entity designated Isunboshi. Internal note: Entity Isunboshi has no previous records in any database. Name is subject to change due to fantasy links. Due to fantasy links, the one misresolve has given fucking what? Name is subject to change due to fantasy links. The one misresolve has given the strong fantasy entity? Huh? Name is subject to change. Due to fantasy links, the one misresolve has given strong fantasy entity. That's actually... Either I'm fucking retarded or this broke my brain. Concerned by AI 12, 13, 1, 5, and 6 over the name, possibly strengthening the entity. Events leading to the appearance of Laputa are, as always, vague and frustratingly mysterious. There's no prior buildup of MANA in the area before Laputa manifested, nor any reports by the local division of any fantasy entities having been spotted prior. Internal note: this resolve lacks the information. But that she lacks critical information? But there indeed was prior report of Inchling sighted in Redacted. Major Observation Lens Watson had requested that no interference was to be done by the local division to take care of these sightings. Moving on to the next section of report. Events according to Miss Resolve. Success. Recording starting now. Please speak directly into the microphone, Miss Resolve. Yes, well. Please speak directly into the microphone, Miss Resolve. Apologies, it is difficult to communicate with such spectacular fantasy incidents. Fuck! It's difficult to communicate such a spectacular fantasy incidents such as this one. Now, am I to leave out certain details that can be seen from my team's recovered footage? In accordance with Article 287, if information that can be gained from recovered footage is left out, no punishment will be given, Miss Resolve. Good. Good, right. Good to confirm anyway. Now, I'll begin with the information that, though the Inchlings were almost a non-threat to my unit, I did need to send 3 of my members after the engagement to search the area. I did need to send 3 of my members after the engagement to search the area for any remaining Inchlings. I used sweeping methods exclusive to my squad, and had no issue eliminating the Inchlings that remained after the main entity was defeated. Are we sure Wi-Fi wasn't dead so you could... Oh no. Internal note. Recovered footage shows that 24 Inchlings were still alive after Miss Resolve had eliminated Laputa. Major Observation Lens Watson is currently checking for any possible remaining Inchlings in the area. But prior to that, during that battle, I had Puppet and Tracker assist me in fighting off the Inchlings and Isenboshi. A particular note was Isenboshi's ability to switch positions with any Inchling in his line of sights. This, as well as the traditional hit-and-run tactics of Inchlings, led to the battle going on for much longer than expected. As well, the battle had occurred outside Laputa for only a day. The remaining 2 days for operation were spent inside Laputa, finding and exterminating all the entities we found within. Internal note. Time dilation noted from Miss Resolve's team that was within Laputa. While she speaks of it having been an additional 2 days while inside the structure, Nominal Reality Tools noted that she had only been gone for 20 minutes, precisely. At that point, I separated from Puppet and Tracker, though. It was during that time that I encountered Isenboshi alone. Though I had no observation lens, my own internals could catch that Isenboshi was responsible for the creation and continued manifestation of Laputa. Though, I had no way to confirm this. The fact that the structure broke down along with its MANA barrier after I had killed... What the fuck?! Fucking phone ringing, I can't keep reading, hang on. Fucking hell, okay. First my fucking computer goes wild, goes crazy, goes... And now like the phone's like fucking stop, shut up. Everybody, thank you. Okay, at that point I was separated from Puppet and Tracker though. It was during that time that I encountered Isenboshi alone. Though I have no observation lens, my own internals could catch that Isenboshi was responsible for the creation and continued manifestation of Laputa. But I have no way to confirm this. The fact that the structure broke down along with its MANA barrier that after I had eliminated Isenboshi is proof enough in my eyes. Is that all, Miss Resolve? Yeah. I got nothing to say that UAIs can't find just by looking at our footage and talking to the lenses. Thank you, Miss Resolve. Please return to your team and await instructions as per protocol. Final internal note. Observation lens, redacted, suggests sending Miss Resolve and her team to redacted. All AIs and local system agree with the suggestion as punishment for Miss Resolve's actions leading to the loss of Laputa. Losing 2 members of her team is expected to increase her loyalty 3-fold. Oh, okay, so we have some... Hang on, 1 sec. I got a good meme for this. Hang on, I got a good meme for this. Okay, ready? I can't fucking read this with my mouth words. I'm gonna use this instead. That sound is so fucking nostalgic for me, honestly. Encode complete. Have a pleasant day, director. Okay, that's it. So we're learning some memes about the world here, about what's going on, what Miko is potentially up against, and also kind of how they operate. Very deceitful, very lie-pilled. Anyway, okay, so that's everything except Rabbit Company. It's gonna be the last one we read for tonight, and for a while. So, get to it. Rabbit Company has a bit more. It's a bit more in the way of just plain old world building instead of doesn't fit. That's a bit more in the way of just plain old world building. It's also longer. It's 9-page. Oh shit. Okay. Be here for a little bit longer. Okay. So, this is going to be from the perspective of a character we've literally never met or seen or anything. So, that's it. No other thing to preface this with. This is somebody we've never met or encountered while we were looking at everything through Miko's perspective. Okay. Well, oh man, I see the view count dropped to 1. That means Bob dropped. I don't know what caused that, but he's not gonna hear me be able to meme on his meme. Oh no. So I'll get to it eventually. If he doesn't get back, it's fine. Well, I'd say you're quite qualified for the position. Be a great fit for a commoner. The young... So sorry you couldn't talk more? Oh, are you gonna have to dip out? Uh-oh. I'm gonna finish reading this one, and then I'm gonna mention, like, this meme a little bit. I'm gonna have to figure out something to do for the last hour and a half of stream. This December will be a rain of parts for Chapter 5, you swear? Oh, sounds good. By the way, I think I brought it up in a previous stream. I think it was like one of my streams on my other channel, so maybe I don't think I mentioned on Storytime stream, but I gave Bob the idea of trying to use Google Forms that he could maybe like link to in the in like the parts in the Google Docs, like when he updates like Chapter 5 with a choice. He could put a link to the Google form there, or maybe like it's possible to put the Google form in the Docs folder. I don't know if that's possible to do. The idea being that if you're reading because you got the link from this stream, right? Then even though you're not like in the Discord where he posts this, you could still catch up on the story, and once you do, you could still see like the forms that'll put links to, that'll have the choices, so like you could still potentially like vote that way on what happens, right? I thought it was like a half decent idea. Up to him to figure out what he wants, like how he wants to do like the execution for that, but that was something I thought of because the idea that like I'm putting the link in the description to the folder that has like all these parts, and I think like his Twitter account like has a link to it too, but you can't make choices from the Google Doc. You can only read on the Google Doc. If we did something with like the forms and made it so you can like do votes that way, that would work for somebody who's not like actually like in the same Discord server as him. Anyway, let's continue reading. Well, I'd say you're quite qualified for the position. You'll be a great fit for a commoner. The young man interviewing me said calmly. Internally, I felt myself let out a huge sigh of relief. Despite being the top 30% of my graduating year at Touhou, I had been massively nervous about applying for my first job. Especially since I applied to the Ryoba Kamina. The Kamina was certainly already impressive for being the 15th largest install Kamina in the city, but underlying prestige working at Ryoba. It was one of the first Kamina to pop up during the Revolution period. With the amount of upheaval that was occurring during that period, due to the truth of the world being unraveled, many medical facilities were lambasted for not offering the correct ways of treating their patients. Dude, I can't fucking read. Holy shit. And the fucking Zen speak, that's what this is. This is Zen speak. This is Zen script. This is the shit that hurts fucking Miko's brain. Don't help. Don't help. In came... Oh, wait. Yeah, no. In came Ryauba. At least in the city, they were the first commoner to appear that treated their patients the way they were supposed to be treated. Strangely, despite my own research into the matter, there's no listed founder for the common publicly available online. Besides that unfortunate area of mystery, the common was well regarded for being essential to making installs and proper treatments normal within the city. And really, no one cared about the fact that the founder wasn't publicly known. Someone at the common I knew, so it wasn't really a mystery after all. Or wasn't really a mystery at all. However, we can't hire you as you are now, the interviewer says in the same calm tone. I grab on the armrest of the chair I'm sitting on, taking in the state-of-the-art relaxant that is injected to me as I do so. What might have been a rising panic attack is swiftly dealt with, as I relax my grip and fall back into the chair. Ryauba was seriously good for letting just potential employees use such tech like this. I wanted to see people at their best after all, not flailing about panicking. Ah, I see. I must have missed something. I thought this interview had been going really well, but there must have been something I missed. Not a good impression to be shown lacking in understanding, but I don't need to ask what I've done wrong because, you see, Miss Toke, Ryauba has a reputation to uphold about the safety and usefulness of our installs. The man tugs on his collar slightly to bring it down just enough that I can see a thin neon blue lines on his throat. As such, all employees must have a Ryauba install, the model created in the last 5 years. He'll explain it. Okay, so, like, having the because be cut off here, that's fine. But we should put a because here. Because get cut off. Because he'll explain it. That would read better. Either that or just omit this because and then put it down here. It's another one of those weird line breaks that, like, kind of mess with the flow. I'm sorry, Mr. Tegu? I don't know how to pronounce that line. That A. Sorry, Mr. Tegu, but I can't seem to recall such a requirement being listed before for this job. I say, frowning at the inconvenience. It's tempting to get just another hit of the relaxant, but doing such would likely leave a bad impression that I don't have control over myself. He waves his hand dismissively as he taps on the table between us. Silently, a holographic version of the wanted ad I saw before is shown on it. True, we do leave this requirement out on wanted ads, but that's simply because it's a type of benefit for joining our common. He waves his hand again, and the hologram vanishes. It's something we require for your sake more so than ours. We even pay out of pocket for the install, and you're allowed to choose whichever one you want. There's the part before where the narrator talks about how he, like, pulled his collar down, and you can see, like, the blue neon light. Like, when I first read this, the first thing that came to mind was fucking Walton Simmons from Deus Ex. The fucking, like, all the bioelectrics he's got, like, running through his face. It's just making me think of the nano augmentations from Deus Ex. I bite the bottom of my lip when hearing that. Everyone is already expected to get an install not long after they get their first job. They are on the more expensive side since they're generally considered a luxury item unless a person needs one to function in society. Getting one even as simple as the Silvino install for better eyesight could cost a month's worth of salary for a middle-of-the-road job. Getting any install I want, though? Especially from one from Ryauba? It's almost too good to be true. But how could I even accept something like that? I quietly exclaim in surprise. Wouldn't that severely dip into your revenue? Giving out for free a right install would be the same as a person working here for several years. The room goes silent at my words. I hadn't realized it before now, but Jitego had been a source of constant noise throughout the interview, as one of what I imagine to be wait, what the fuck? A source of constant noise throughout the interview, as one of what I imagine to be his many installs had been quiet. Ouch. But now he's hearing nothing inside the interview room. I want to run out of the room in embarrassment. Can't believe I just said something so stupid. Can't believe I haven't thought to say that. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? What was I thinking? I let out a long breath to let go of the death grip I had in my armrest. Relaxing streams into my blood. Pushing through my body to take away my worries and concerns. Because it's fine. It'll be fine. Mr. Tegu's smart. He'll know why I panicked. He'll understand already. I don't have to say anything. Well, Miss Toke, Mr. Tegu slowly says. Toki? I don't know. Well, we would certainly essentially bleed money doing such. We are, we're sponsored by Chuntiksen? What's the Mexican H? The Aztec, the H, the Aztec X. Okay. Chuntheim? To give installs to our employees. They pay for every free install we give to our employees and even help us develop new installs for doing such. Surprised I feel at learning that Rayalba works with Chuntheim? Shine? You know, I think I understand why fucking Miko gets a fucking headache thinking about these words. His thankfully suppressed by the relaxant. I don't even need to ask why Chunshine would even be working with the commoner. People who work at the Chunshine have always had the best of intentions when helping the common folk of the city. If they're helping Rayalba, then must be doing it for a good cause. Jitega looks up thoughtfully at the ceiling as his installs once again begin working quietly. Though I admit, it's rather lucky that they decided, out of all the common in the city, to sponsor us like this. Wait, what? Even the sheer strength of the relaxants can't stop my surprise from showing. Sorry, Mr. Tegu, but did you say you were lucky? I asked incredulously. You mean chance, right? Tegu tugs on his collar as he sighs like he's having to tell a child to stop playing with sticks and get back to reading. Just token. Cannot speak further on this matter unless you're working at the common. You're a rather promising individual we'd love to have on the team, but unless you sign this. He taps the table again and pulls up a document that I'm quickly able to read. Simply an agreement to work at the common. I'll have to get Rayalba installed. I laugh lightly as I quickly sign the holographic document and it disappears. Rather manipulative of you to wave a question in my face like that, Mr. Tegu. Of course I want to know the answer. Well, with that in order, Mr. Tegu gets up from his seat and turns to the exit door. Please follow me, Miss Toke. Get you an install right away and get a proper introduction to working at Rayalba. Jumping with a bit too much energy, I gladly follow the man out of the interview room, down to a white and gray cubicle area. There's a good bit of passion in me as we walk past the cubicles. It'll be exciting to have a space-warped area to call my own. Only near top-tier commoner like Rayalba are able to afford such tech. The Touhou had only had one such place in the building students were allowed to use, and always the best thing. Once the Trut sign managed to find a more efficient way to use the tech, all sorts of problems will be a thing of the past. So, you'll tell me about this luck thing after I get the install, right? I ask, restraining a giggle at risk coming out. Luck? How could someone working at the Rayalba event? How could someone working at Rayalba event talk about such a ridiculous thing? Just had to know. No, Miss Toke. Mr. Tegu says with more interest than I had heard during our entire interview. Rather unusual that a potential employee would ask as many questions as you have. I can't help but be glad that I wore the suit today that included body temperature regulator. Sure, it's rather basic, but I honestly wore it for the interview just so I wouldn't blush. Yes, I'm aware. My teachers at Touhou would often be upset with me for asking so many questions during and after class. You ask questions? He asked with a slight surprise. I wonder if that's an install letting him control his motions so well, or if he's just that good at it. Yeah, I say ashamed. I used to ask 3 questions for basically every class during my first year there. Well, we're all a little bit foolish when we're young. I swear I can hear Mr. Take's grin when he says that. Like he's reminiscing over an old memory. Probably shouldn't mention to him that I was still asking a question every week, even into my final year. I know it's a bad habit that I need to kick, and I'm trying my best. Probably shouldn't tell my employer that, though. I want to get a record at Realba for being the person fired the fastest. We continue moving in silence for a time. The building is made to be as quiet as was needed. Even when moving, the building was made to be. Fuck, I can't read. The building was made to be as quiet as needed when moving through the halls, so without anyone talking, relaxing trip. But I couldn't help but feel a mark of worry as I saw the words etched into the air in front of the sterilizer door. Realba Commandant Insharu Shinsuction. Sharp? Carelessly asked before I could slap my hand over my mouth. Thankfully, Mr. Take turns to me, he doesn't seem bothered by the question. Another word for install is starting to be used by various commoners. Inshinshin reports that with further use, it's expected to be easier for people to understand and install. Now my head. Of course it'd be like that. Common took 2 generations to be used more often than company, so of course it'd be best to start using it shower now rather than wait for a long time. Jitegu guides me to the pink and white Insharu Chunshin into a waiting room that has light slowing going through various colors to illuminate the room. There's no one else in the waiting room besides me and Mr. Tegu, though. Though I hold back on asking why that might be. I have to behave properly after all, and not ask questions that already have answers. See Mr. Tegu looking patiently at me, I quickly take a seat on one of the many open chairs in the room. Grabbing a tablet from one of the small tables near the seats, I'm bombarded by dozens upon dozens of different Realba and Sharu to choose from. And Shayru? Well, now, Miss Toki. I believe I'll leave you to choose which install you'll get. Why is he saying the new meme now? He forgot. Look forward to working with you. Mr. Tegu says quickly before trying to basically sprint out of the room. Wait a second, Mr. Tegu, I yell out, my voice rising minutely higher than how I normally speak when going out. Did you say you'd tell me about luck? Did you say you'd tell me about luck if I joined the Kamina? Is she asking him or telling him? Don't you think it's rude to leave before answering my question? Well, I mean, you're not supposed to be asking questions to begin with, so no. There's a whirring sound as I see a blue glow come from underneath Mr. Tegu's suit before dissipating. He doesn't sigh or display any blatant sign of emotional distress, but somehow, I can still tell he very much doesn't want to talk about this. He turns around slowly before sitting in the chair next to mine. He opens his mouth to start speaking before closing it. He repeats this twice before finally deciding what to say. Interesting to see that this is a trait shared between Aho and the people of Zen. It's okay. I understand in today's environment, it's rather childish to speak of luck instead of chance. This close to the man now, I see the various wrinkles in his skin. That doesn't make a lot of sense to see. He's clearly a high-ranking employee at the Kamina. There's plenty of in-house in Sharu that can help with basic aging issues like wrinkles. You see, Miss Toki, our Kamina has always fallen on the better side of chance. It's He trails off, rumbling something under his breath. The drop furrows and I see it again. The sheer age this man displays is astonishing. This close, I could see his hair. I thought before it was white, but no, it's gray. Naturally gray! My shock is put on pause and Mr. Tegu rummages through his pockets and pulls out a single coin. Now, I think it'd be easiest if I showed you instead of trying to explain this. Quickly in a swift and practiced motion, Mr. Tegu flips the coin into the air before catching it in his palm, covering the result. Now, Miss Toke. Heads or tails? What? I asked, confused. I'm sorry, sir, but this is roughly a 50% chance of being correct or wrong. If you're attempting to prove such a thing as luck to me through a method even children are taught, then I... Please, Miss Toki. Play along for a time, will you not? He interrupts. I bet if he was using a fucking D20, she wouldn't be coming up. She wouldn't be fucking saying this shit. She'd shut up and listen. I want to get up and leave. The sheer idea that Ryaba Kamina would let someone who believes in luck in such an idiotic way even work here is so insulting that I want to slap him. It's an insult to my intelligence that Mr. Tega would even suggest this. So, why do I still want to know? I already know the answer to this question. I know the truth of the matter with luck and all its fallacies, yet I'm still curious. If I indulge in this, I'll be insulting every single teacher I ever had at Touhou. Heads. And this never leaves the room, okay? I demand as I make the call. Tega slowly nods his head. Of course. I was going to suggest as much myself. Now let's see if you're right. He says, as he reveals the coin, I see the result. Tails. Shall we go again? He asked so casually, he may as well have asked me to go on a walk. I shouldn't do this. I really shouldn't do this. Despite my rational mind telling me how idiotic this is, I can't help but stop the words that flow out. Yes, I'm calling heads again. I'll eventually get it right. It's just the way chance works, but... Tails. Chance, Tails, doesn't work like this! You're cheating, I declare. Sounding like I'm bleeding and about to die. There's no way you've landed on that same side 100 times in a row. Yes, there's always a chance it could happen. That's what I was taught, but that's why luck doesn't exist. Because what people use to identify as luck was just unlikely events occurring. It should be the same. This is the same. No, I'm simply getting lucky, Mr. Tegu states firmly. Like it's a fact of the universe. This isn't a mere chance, Miss Toke. I flipped this coin hundreds upon hundreds of times. I've always come out on top when using it. How the hell do you work here? I nearly screamed. Truly screamed. I jumped from my seat. Humanity left superstitious crap like that behind long ago. How could Ryaba ever hire a loon like you? Because I'm lucky. I want to scream something back. Scream about how idiotic he is. How I'll tell everyone that Ryaba hires superstitious Neanderthals. That a fool like him drags everyone down. But I can't say anything. So I look into his eyes. I see something that I don't recognize. I don't know what it is. I've never seen someone look like he does right now. Good to know that, like, the absolute fucking vitriol that the City of Zen seems to feel for Miko isn't reserved solely for Miko. It's for anyone who expresses anything other than Zen memes. Like I said, this is all world building memes. Part with someone of a bitch to write and keep the world in mind. Yeah, but it's good in that way. I also fucking hate our POV character for this side story, and I expressed such to Bob when I first read it. Like fuck, she annoyed the shit out of me when I first read this. Like there's very clear elements of we don't think for ourselves, or lack of individual thought happening in I guess in the City of Zen in general, if this character is meant to be sort of like representative of how people in the city work, operate, and live. It's Toke. This trait of being lucky, calling coins or finding change, is something everyone who works at Ryaba has. One way or another, we're all lucky here. He looks down towards the ground, avoiding my startled gaze. No one speaks of it, but everyone here knows it's true. Kamina itself is lucky. You know that of all the Kamina that originated in the Revolution period, we're the only ones still here? You know how many times our Kamina has been saved due to random factors outside of anyone's control? Stunned at the absurdity of the situation, I do nothing as Mr. Tega gets up. His body is still whirling quietly as he moves. Like a shadow, he moves towards the exit. But before leaving, he turns back to me once more. It's Toke. He hesitates. If you wish to stop here, no one will blame you. The contract you signed allows you to leave at any time before getting the install. Go about ignoring the luck I've shown you. Live a life happily and normal. Laugh slightly. Perhaps that's the luck you have. You get the choice of how to live. That's something me or many others at this common feel they have. Either way, good luck in everything you try for, Miss Tucker. Sister Tegu leaves the room, still standing, struck speechless by the insanity I've accidentally walked into. You'd be lying about this entire luck thing in the Kamina. His own crazy view on the world corrupts his ability to understand how things really work. That's all this must be. I'm not lucky to have learned this. I'm freaking cursed to know that one of the more respected Kamina hires insane people. How can you be cursed if luck doesn't exist, though? I thought humanity left stupid superstitions like this behind long ago. Fucking hypocrite. No one's gonna believe me if I say anything about this. I don't have a single ounce of proof to prove it's true. What kind of luck would this even be to burden me like this? At some point, in my internal ranting about how horrible the situation had become, I started staring at the floor. Sure, it held no answers, but it's better than having to risk seeing any more insanity that might be infected at this place. Yet I had no chance to enjoy a nice carpet pattern because at my feet was that freaking coin. I must have forgotten to take it with him when he left. It's in my hand now. Why did I pick up such a stupid thing? What possible reason could compel me to do so? There's nothing logical about picking it up like this. It's not even mine. I don't need it. I shouldn't pick it up. I growled at the dumb coin. It's the reason the entire problem started. It's rigged. It's gotta be. I turn it over and looking at it for any sign of tampering, but there's nothing there. It's a perfectly normal coin. There's no cheat, no sign of Mr. Teku done anything but got luck. God damn it! Let the words slip from my mouth. Guttural in my anger. If anyone's around to see me, they'd probably think I need some kind of medicine to calm down. Fine then. I whispered to the coin. It's just chance. Nothing more to it. Show them that there's no luck here. If it lands on heads, I leave. If it lands on tails, I don't get the install. Win-win situation for me. What happens with a coin toss? 50-50 chance between two results. Either way, I'm leaving and never looking back at this insanity. I'm caring of the results of my inevitable victory. Flip the coin in the air. Not even bothering to catch as it comes back down and lands on the carpet. Result isn't heads. Result isn't tails. Result is neither. I look in befuddlement at the coin, sitting perfectly on its edge on the carpeted floor. This isn't real. I'm just imagining things from stress. I stomp my foot and the coin falls on its side. Then it manages to flip back onto its edge. Like a machine that needs to tune up, I sit back down on the chair and get the list of possible installs I can get. I also keenly ignore when the coin falls into the head side after all this time as I sit. I can't stop my face from twitching in utter frustration at the sly-looking rabbit imprinted on the coin, seeming to smile back at me. Okay, we got some world-building memes, and with that, we have finished reading Touhou, a post-fantasy story. At least for now. We got this folder up here called Norimo 2022. We're not going to read that. We're not going to read these. We're going to save these for what's it called? For, when we eventually get to Chapter 5. Or maybe we'll get to them at some point in the future before Chapter 5 is done. But for now, we're not going to touch those. And we also have Chapter 5 here. Very, very not that long. Oh, no. 32 pages. Would take about a stream belt out. But we're not going to touch that right now. I'm going to wait until it's finished. So for now, that's it. No more post-fantasy. Get rid of this for now, as we figure out what to do for the rest of the stream. Don't know if we'll be reading Shadow Eval's story on stream. I would if he or she was here, but they're not currently here. They weren't here last week either. So I guess if you're watching the VOD, leave a comment or something. The same stream time works for you. We could do that at some point. Because I don't know. Because if it's a story time thing, I'd rather... If it's a story time thing and somebody asks me to read it, I'd rather the author, be there. It's the reason I picked like the time and made sure the time was like okay with Bob because I'd rather he be here while I'm reading his story and like critiquing it and stuff. Because like sometimes like things won't come to me until I'm like reading it again, in terms of like offering criticism, or like sometimes like something will come up and like I'll restate a certain piece of criticism or something. Anyway, we gotta figure out what to do for another hour of stream. What should we do? Oh man. As far as I'm aware, there's only one person in chat. He's probably busy. He's probably dealing with shit, like I said he was. Now I'm thinking what we can do. What should we do? Should we do some creative cat memes? Do an art stream? What the fuck would I art? I don't want to do music. I don't want to completely fucking embarrass myself. I can't music. Should I play Trails in the Sky second chapter for an hour? There's like a whole hour of stream. Sorry you couldn't talk enough for this last stream. Hope you'll make another chapter to read here. I mean, between the Normo stuff you're currently doing and the chapter 5 stuff that you're probably currently doing along with will eventually do, we're gonna come back to Post Fantasy some point in the future. At some point, maybe not right away, but at some point. But what should we do for the last hour, or should we just call it early? I don't know if I want to call it early. Okay, hang on. Okay, hang on. Hang on. Okay. I've put a poll, but there's like only one person in chat. But like, right. Poll's like hidden itself from me. If I was to draw something, I don't know what I'd draw. Oh, bro. I also haven't played Library of Ruina in like ages. Do I want to play a video game on this channel though? I mean, it wouldn't. I mean, it'd be fine. It'd be whatever, right? No. What would I draw? If I was to draw something, what would I draw? Post Fantasy? Touhou? Kogasa? In an hour though? Well, I don't know if I could do a whole ass drawing in an hour. It usually takes like 2. Oh. Maybe we should just stop early. Oh no, no. Okay. I don't think anybody's in chat besides Bob and I don't see any voting happening, so we're just gonna end this. I think we'll just stop it early. Just have this be solely just solely Post Fantasy. I think I've ended a stream early in like a really long time. Usually try to push it. Usually try to push for the full 3 hours, but I think, you know what? I think it's probably fine. It should be probably okay. Maybe like this a little bit, right? Just a touch. Oh wait, art memes got a vote? Fuck. Okay. Alright, I didn't even fucking see that shit. Alright. Art memes. Okay, fine. We're doing art memes for an hour. What should I draw? What should I draw now then? Oh no! I wasn't expecting art memes to win! Should I keep my co-streamers on the screen? Are they gonna get in the way? They probably will, right? Or they extremely get in the way. Oh no. What should I draw, bro? I need... Alright. I don't know what the fuck to draw, but I was told to draw. I was told by the poll to art meme. So I gotta figure out how the fuck to do this now, because I need to pull my tablet towards me, but to do that I gotta push the mic back. So now it's gonna be like all the way back there. Or no, wait, hang on. No, I can't pull it closer because like it's gonna catch. It's not. It can't come this far. Oh no. Such a fucking miserable experience. Okay. I gotta get my fruity drawing glove out. Alright. I don't know what to draw. He's telling me what to draw. So, you know what? Sort of kind. You know what I gotta redraw? You know what I gotta try and draw again at some point in the future? But I'm probably not gonna do it now. I need to redraw this shit. I need to try drawing this person again at some point, because I didn't like. I gotta try drawing Ren again at some point. I'm still not glad with how she turned out. Could have been better. All right, I'm gonna since I don't know what to draw, and I don't think Bob's keen on telling me what to draw. I'm gonna just. You can't go wrong with literally. That girl. Huh? You can't go wrong with literally the best girl. Now, the audio could sound weird because my tablet is going to be blocking the sound coming from me and going to the mic. So, it might be a little hard to hear. Do a little file here. Can't see the window because of the way I'm capturing. There's a window here for me to select different options for new files. Can't see it because of the way OBS is capturing clips view. I don't feel like capturing my entire fucking desktop. I don't want to accidentally like dox my fucking desktop. Here, and I'm gonna fill this black. We're gonna go 50%. If I can like save my fucking eyes. I think what we'll do, can't go best with literally the best girl. Drawing is good, yes. I can't help but feel you might be a few minutes behind. But I'm saying like it's time to draw. You're like drawing is good. And like I think like minutes ago I was like, yo, what should I draw? What should I draw? What should I draw? Like I wasn't getting a fucking answer. I feel like you're just probably leaving me to fucking stew. Rough. Anyway, we're gonna go with hero effort Kogasa, because you can't go wrong with the best girl. I've drawn Kogasa enough times now. I think like probably drag some of my own Kogasas to use visual aid. That's draw her from memory. Have I drawn her enough times to be able to fuck that? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, if I'm gonna go zero effort, I may as well try, like, going from memory, right? That makes some kind of sense? A little bit? Maybe? Perhaps? By some increment? I'm in the wrong folder. I gotta get good Kogasas. I've drawn. I prefer so for something like this, because like my Kogasa doesn't look anything like the way Zun would draw her, right? Like my preference kind of is like when I kind of get used to drawing something, be it like one of my own characters, like be it Touhou. What I do, what I like to do, or what I've noticed I do, is when I have when I like develop a certain way of like drawing something, I don't like it, or I like how a certain drawing came out because of something I did. I try to like stick to that. So to do that, I kind of just use my own shit as like my visual aid, because then that helps me stay consistent. If I stuck with, hang on, let me see. If I stuck with this. I gotta scroll to the right thing, bruh. Here we go. If I just can't just drag that, bro. Why not? Done this before. Brew. Let me click and drag. Why does this work on Firefox but not on fucking Google? Cringe. I have to do it this way. Like, if I just stuck with this, right? Up here. Because my goal isn't to replicate, like, Zune style, or even try. I'd get something different every time, I think. Or, like, slightly different every time. It's still good to have, right? But, I want, like, a more internal consistency. But we're gonna go low effort anyway, so not that big a deal. What do I mean by low effort? Well, say that, and to do is we're gonna try not to try. Okay? We're gonna try and do. Try to not try. Which, you know, in theory is simple as fuck, but in practice it's very difficult. Okay, alright. Go for it. Kogasa in an hour or less. Keep it simple. Keep it tiny. Keep it small. I don't have to I never fucking have to talk while I draw. It's like really fucking weird and hard. What do I want her to do? That's another problem. Alright. Anything. Go. Just like this standard little Kogasa code, right? Like as all right, sure.
Right? Like she's just like there. Her. You like change it up a bit somehow. How? What do we do? Can I just do what's happening here? That's the same me. Oh. If we're going 0 effort, want to do anyway? Let's just do that. Right? Her. That's a little different. Slightly marginal, tiny bit, right? Something like right? Go the other way. It's like same. Oh yeah, because that's the same as like what's going. Okay. Not completely. I still want to see it. That's just gonna give me what I want to do. Kind of like, sort of like the feel of what I want to find with, I guess. Keep it real simple. I want to like go try hard like here. What I would normally do. It takes too long. Doing all this. Doing all this is gonna take a long while. You ain't got that kind of time. You only got an hour. Okay, we gotta go like at Bob Ross speed, right? Which is ridiculously fast. You ever seen that man paint on Joy of Painting? Like, man produces paintings super fast, effortlessly too. This. This tells me which way the face is. Could do something like that. I don't like the way that. Dead on kind of. Do that. Not like a 3/4 kind of off center. Supposed to be post fantasy. Oh right, I should probably do something like this, right? Plus bonus Kogasa drawing. Go. Alright. Have to change the title of the stream. Alright, we have an hour to make this work. We can do it. I believe in myself. I need to change the music. It'll be fun. Oh, I want. Need some big. That way, like, portions entirely. This, right? That's cap. Something like that, right? Doesn't have to be super duper accurate because we're not trying to make like medical sketch. We're trying to our general faith going. That's my sort of like logic. I do that. If we're going low effort, I really shouldn't be going to try hard here. Like this. I want to go like this. for this wall work for your here. Oh, ran for some trouble. I already hate it. I got bad feeling. I got bad vibes. I already hate it. I don't really know. It's a problem. I used to be able to like. I'm out of practice. This Strawtober kind of like showed me that. Kind of showed me that I think I did a lot of practice a bit. Very good. Bad. Should ideally be able to identify what it is about a drawing much on the quick, with the swiftness. The reason why I would want that is so correct it during this like early phase. That way, later stages. Because if it's bad now, I can't fix it. It's gonna stay bad. Just gonna mock me. On this great book fine. I feel like this probably wouldn't be like the most entertaining thing to watch, but it's like a last hour stream, which is filling up the time. And this ain't like the video game channel, right? So I thought maybe something a little different. But I mean, it's kind of like a shitpost channel, right? Like a little bit, but it's also just like the channel where I just do whatever. It's always like the point of it. The reason why you have shit like cinema on here. The reason why you have shit like the fuck is it? Dramatic readings on here too. Like those. Oh, I said neat. How do we want her? It's fine. I'm just trying to. I don't know when or why it happened, but at some point, my tablet settings got like fucking reset. So my pen feel after the end of Drawtober, I don't know what happened or why, but like, everything got reset. So like the firmness of the pen tip doesn't feel right. The way lines come out doesn't like feel completely right. Been hell trying to fix it. It's not fun. Here. The meme I saw, I think I mentioned. Can't get drawn. Or like to draw feet. Or from like point. lines. Basic fucking fun. But then, like from other angles, I want to like have the key up there. This kind of like the way I sort of like understood it. I like exactly. I do. I mean, you know, it's whatever. Not for like this above, right? This. That kind of how the toast one, right? A little bit, sort of, kinda. You'd like save it for afterward. It is just like this. This is kind of what we have here is kind of like representative of like the skeleton. Something like this, or I think different little uppers. Not an angle I'm used to drawing from, but you know it's great. Good practice though. Do it anyway. Practice it. Which is why I'm fucking doing it anyway. I don't expect it to come great. But it doesn't matter. It's supposed to be fucking low effort, so like, why do I care? So because we're digital, right? I have to worry about, oh no, I never have to make. But what's a with this little blue one? Right with this one. I could just redraw that, but I waste of time. It's digital. I think some people probably like, oh, it's not the artistic integrity. I mean, yeah, cool. Have like artistic integrity to the point where like never use like lasso resize. Like, that's a nice meme. That's a good ideal. Or you have a finished drawing. Sometimes, as much as I would like to, as much as I would prefer practice like the first time, I would much rather have finished drawing. Most of the time. Other times, I would also prefer to just constructing it right, figuring out how to construct it, and just like using those moments where I have difficulty, burning moments. Oh. Take time to like kind of like, okay, I'm fucking this up. Why am I fucking it up? Where am I fucking? Kind of like it. Digital too. What you do is you flip the canvas. Helpful. At least when it's helpful. Angle. Help, or sometimes when you look at it from a certain, not an angle, but a certain, like what's it like this, I do this, and suddenly the umbrella looks a little bit different. Suddenly doesn't look so. So okay, so here we have our basic 20 minutes into the 1 hour we have allotted, so we got to move fast. Kind of have a code. Basically the same as things got going on here, or similar, not exactly the same, but it may as well be the same, right? So what I'll do, this right, a little bigger, scale it up. I'm scaling it up. That's okay. Traditional artists have a meme called like gridding. At least I think it's called. I think in the context I've heard it, it was used by like some person on TV and art. Pretty sure. That's neither here nor there. That's that, and this is this. What I like to do, go from basic part here, but to more when I'm actually going to draw. I like to go like to smaller brushes. So I'm gonna keep it this size. That'll make it like fast. bastard. Could actually do a little fall and plane meme that I do. I'm from reading Loomis. That face shape, but I think I'd rather fall it. Okay. Just because we explicitly said effort. Right? Try to draw it right still. I'm not. Do it anyway. There's some real basic and rush as fuck. I'll put what I like. Okay, that'll be not good enough. I like it. Okay. Welcome to being inside my head. I just scream. It's like, hey, fucking shit. Why are you even pretending to be an artist? It's like every time I try to draw something. Every single time. Without fail. Without variance. Go. Feel simple if we can. Weird. That's real. Yes. Okay. Somewhere around here, I think I put that. So bad. Might not be any saving it, but oh, low effort. It's okay. Hands are hard as fuck to draw. Doing like little shapes like this, like circle where I want to put that little almost pentagonal shape where I kind of want the fingers to be at. It's a little helpful. Fine. I do the same thing here. What I had to do. Figure out how I. Here. How to kind of make right, something like this. Maybe more this, but put the curve in there. The angle that we're seeing be at. thumb here. It's actually gripping. Kind of. We're almost halfway through and we're nowhere near done. Okay. Going. That. There. Now, like, legs are where I tend to fall apart. You know. I go. Fine. Okay. I have to kind of keep telling myself, we're going low effort today. I have to go really full point of like the game I'm trying to do. The only reason I'm trying to do that is because there's not that much time left this trip. I also I'm not sure how much I enjoy doing this. Too much. Like the drawing itself, I enjoy it. I don't know how much I'm doing it on stream. Well, it's a weird feeling. While I do it? Whole other animal. So, one leg doesn't look massive compared to the other. I think it was like Kogasa didn't skip leg day, except only on one leg. That's so big the way we drew it before. Although, I don't fucking like it. Everything about this is going wrong. Kind of like it's tiny bit. I might rage quit. I rage quit this. Like it. I don't like how it's turning out at all. I'm not doing it right. I'm not trying, and that's part of the problem. Actually. Basic shape. I'm not gonna. This one's cut her little shoes. Of course, again, we can take advantage of flower moves, right? Agree we're in. I don't like it. I don't like how it's turned out. I think I might rage quit to the point where I think I'm gonna like remove the VOD and then I'm gonna re-upload it, but like without this drawing part. Okay. Really low effort for me, but here, this maybe. Yeah. Sure. Alright. That's something, right? Maybe, kinda, sorta. kind of prefer adult Kogasa, to be honest with you. So we'll draw her as like little girl. Bring us. Don't need this. I don't need this. Okay, so tiny bit. Alright, so very definition, equal effort. Take this. This is. Maybe I do need this again? It doesn't really help so much. I make it slip. Kinda. I'm not happy. This was happening all throughout October too. I wonder if it's because of just the pressure, like that I sort of like this weird kind of like maybe psychological pressure I'm putting on myself by doing it off stream, or like kind of psychological pressure I was putting on myself during October. Kind of doing it like on camera. I did upload the time lapse, right? I haven't drawn in a bit since October. I think if I tried to just draw normal without putting it on stream, something like that, I think on normal. I think I would also have to like fucking fix the setup. I don't know what happened. I think it like reset all my stuff, but it still happened. Still did it. Still annoying. So just keep it like very small scale. Don't want to go much bigger than this. If I do, then that's going to create a situation where this becomes high effort. What I'm trying to avoid. Oh, now her hair. And Soon has his way of doing her hair, right? Right up here. I've kind of like decided on my own way of drawing Kogasa. By that I mean like her hair. It's got like this sort of like almost in the original like sprite from like Touhou 12, it's got this almost like sort of like pouty quality to it. No artist, myself included, seems to be able to like capture, or like it's very rare that you see artists kind of try and go for that. And they'll usually go for something else. So I know where. That'll tell me where I want to. Okay. remember how I draw. It's not enough for me to just be like, okay, get an old drawing. I have to kind of like remember what I did. It's not like, sounds like a weird thing to say, but what you're doing, it's kind of like remembering what you did, what choices you made, why you made that choice. Didn't go too hard on it. Again, trying to keep it like a little effort. That was the goal here. I think we run out of time on this. Or not finish it at all. It's not super happy with it. I'm gonna want to keep going. Okay. Something. This. Because that's just what I have every other time I've ever done. Excuse me. I can't get to my mic, so if I have to like go, it's just, it is okay. Preferably, I think. Right leg. Oh, to 5. Run. Yep. Okay. Seeing her face and her hair now is a little bit, making me feel a little bit better. Just a bit. This smidge, touch, itty bitty little bit. "40 minutes deep. Maybe not. Don't too hard, don't too heavy effort. Oh fuck, it's only the draw it too. Call it Kogasa's umbrella, or we just call it... Is it? Playing game over theme. I feel like I just fucking died. Leave Delios. Crazy. Low effort. I have to keep reminding myself. Effort. Go. Oh. Go. Otherwise. At least it would take. I want to do it that way because it feels more correct for the way I like to draw anyway. But what do I mean by correct? Why did I say that? A little bit more effort than I intended because if I don't, it's gonna look off to me. I'm gonna feel like it's off. I'm not gonna like it. There wasn't too many times. Sometimes I'll do stuff like what's here on this side here, but when I'm at like this small of a scale, I don't want to do too much here. It's gonna look really weird and kind of crowded. Kind of. We'll do something here that kind of makes sense, right? Not sure if that does entirely. I don't want that to come out too far, right? Something like that. This one here holds up my here, right? Like this maybe? Sure. Oh man. I'll end it. Green? Oh. Like. Choose. Draw it right. Probably isn't gonna. So I want to get two in this meat because hang me up. I'm not gonna. I wanna I don't want to go too hard, especially if I'm like trying to keep it like over low effort. Like, be like just do this and I'll stream. I shouldn't have even done the pull. Probably have to like fix it quick or something. It's whatever right now. Probably. No big deal. Something like now. I forgot the co-streamers were there. I saw it change on the corner of my eye. It like surprised me. A bit bigger, but of course it's it's fine. Define as works. Wish I hadn't put it up though. For that. Don't need that. That. Okay. Red skirt. As I drew it. Oh, cool. He's got down there. Umbrella. Hello, everyone. Probably quite, right? Water here? Probably. Alright, hang on. So... Probably. Yeah, that can work. Enough. And now I'm going like effort again. Not what I'm trying. How I intended. I'm supposed to end this stream. Okay. Little. It's about that time. We're not done. I don't know if I'll finish this off stream, but you know, it was good to try, I guess. I don't think I'll ever draw on stream again. I did not enjoy this. This is not a good idea. This is rough. This was rough. It was rougher than success. But that's gonna be it for now. Thanks for watching. Stop by, chat, and see you all next time. Unless I don't. Next time I see you, it's gonna be tomorrow on Trails from Zero stream on the other channel, and then Bob's gonna be streaming tomorrow. 9 a.m. more Trails in the Sky, second chapter. Look at this. Anyway, thanks for watching, and good night.